Mandala Kamyatayami Chedan Toki Chonamla Chanchu Padu Dadi Kyapsuchi Daki Chenyen Gibe Sanamki Nola Penchir Sangye Dupasho Chedan Toki Chonamla Chanchu Padu Dadi Kyapsuchi Daki Chenyen Gibe Sanamki Jola Penchir Sangye Drupasho Chedan Soki Chonamla Chanchu Badu Dadi Kapsuchi Daki Chenyen Gibe Sanamki Jola Penchir Sangye Drupasho Shogish Mogi.
So we're still in the mind only. And we're still, this part is focusing on things, right? And the emptiness of things as opposed to people, right? And we're talking about outer objects, and we've been in the process of denying various people's thoughts about outer objects for it seems like, a year and a half or something. So I think we may be close to finishing that debate. But anyway. So according to the mind-only school, in a very brief way, how would you say, they say that one validates the perception of a visual consciousness that holds the world.
Part of because they're there when they see it. Because they remember it later.
It's a word that we thought might not pass the
apperception. Wrong Greek?
And then they're just right. Going answering all of the questions.
How does that work?
So oops. The ability of the mind to see itself. And he got the extra credit. Now what's going on?
Yeah.
In this?
Well, because
how does this prove?
Because it's part of the kunchi, because the blue itself, they're claiming is part of the kunchi.
The tsema of blue has to be seen. The perception of blue for the tsema for blue to exist, there's got to be a tsema. But for the tsema to exist, then there's got to be something to see the tsema, which in this case is that perception.
And then how do you know that happened?
Well, that's a problem. Because you have a memory of seeing blue, which proves that you had an apperception there. But now you need, I guess, an apperception to see the memory. I mean, I'm just saying, this is now where we would complain.
Yeah. So if there's a memory of having seen blue, there must have been a perception of seeing blue. That confirms blue, and it also confirms the perception.
Yeah, right. Now we have to confirm that.
So now one may wonder, if everything comes from mind, just how could it be that things appear as outer objects? Like, it seems so ridiculous that they would appear that way.
This is where you give a stock DCI answer. It's gotta be the seed.
From beginners.
What's the technical term for that in the mind-only school? There's a very weird technical term for that. For that kind of seed. There's a specific weird word for that kind of seed.
Oh, we had it. Yeah. Text, right? Mm-hmm. We had it in both texts, I think.
We've had it like 4 times or something.
I'm sure I'll get it by the 5th.
I'll give you a clue. It has bakchak in it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's how much I'd come up with.
Not sure made a bakchak.
Munjuki bakchak.
Ah, yeah.
Okay.
I was talking.
Ancient seed for calling things out there. Yeah. Okay. That's an interesting. Your graduate students can write a doctoral thesis on Munjuki bakchak. Abhi something. Abhi Vakti or something. Munju, to express. BRJOD. I mean, that's the kind of thing your grandkids will write books about. With the database. Please continue.
What needs to happen today by the end of class?
Forget everything.
Besides that.
We'll finish my only school and move on to the next one.
Someone will fall asleep in class?
That's definitely
You think? Really?
What's the answer?
What's that? We'll embark on this discussion.
Boy, I don't know how to rate the likelihood of that.
So we were out.
You're getting a whole bunch of extra credits then.
Yay.
What was it?
So I s-
We were gonna finish and go to Sotachika.
Seriously? We're hoping.
well, I sort of peeked ahead and
Yeah,
there's
we're hoping.
2 little things.
Okay, let's go.
Is that Tibetan
Time flies.
web?
Me,
Ooh, that's a very nice vocabulary word.
no English.
Why don't you meet
Yeah, we
May?
had it. There was
Did you
there
mean
was
May?
friendship
Did
music,
you
there was
mean
another
the May there?
term.
No, the nay is very beautiful. She did a good
Oh,
job.
Forgot
she
to-
forgot to put it in the room.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, okay.
Let's put it in.
Meet May.
Simultaneous together.
Yeah.
But it means
Yeah.
something specific.
There was some specific meaning to it.
He makes a good argument.
Wow.
I'm with him.
And we
There
had
was something about subject and object.
there was 2 terms. One, and these were counterposed, right?
Invariably,
Yeah.
what?
In conjunction.
Found in conjunction.
Yeah.
Okay. That's how I translate it. I think it's a good translation. Okay.
Dude.
It took me a while to come up with it.
Reishik.
He's not looking. Quick, take it off.
Extra credit provisional translation from term 5.
Wait.
Together, focus fixed.
Uh-huh.
Okay, Sungang Zinfa.
The form.
Oh, the holder and the
thing
held.
Holder. Yeah, holder.
Yeah.
Held and the holder.
Jateke.
What are they called in the Vajrayogini Tantra?
The,
Grasping and
Grasping
just
and
grasp.
grasped.
No, Chishin.
Teaching.
Divine, right?
The vines. Yeah.
the vines.
Divine, not divine.
Chop,
They're actually undivined vines. Te in the Tibetan is misspelled.
Because the owl.
Yeah.
Because that means
There you go.
correct.
Yeah.
So
No, you had it.
te.
You had it. But then you erased it.
Oh, I see.
So it's just showing us.
Oh, it's a function
Owl.
of.
Yeah.
I can't do it right this second.
Okay.
No problem.
What's it mean?
Things do work.
Nice. Beautiful. Exactly. Precisely. I'm glad I didn't bet any money on it.
Yeah, but you. No.
This is America, damn it.
Thank you very much.
Yay!
Next time we will have movies and cartoons and.
Yeah. Something
And
modern.
a lot of news, apparently. Oh,
Oh, the
boy, is that a creepy wall of pain.
oh, that's not what.
Yeah, it is creepy.
Ugh.
Let's get out of it. Go away. We're not interested in the news.
It's a dog name.
Ben.
It is.
Clock name.
It's because I'm precise.
So, just to review where we were, which is kind of a controversial place, he said the way that the mind-only school proves that outer objects don't exist is something that the Lord and his 2 sons have said we must accept in the context as well of both Madhyamika schools and Tantra. Okay, so the crucial word here is Kelen. You know, what does that mean exactly? Do we really have to accept? Then he says, among all Tantras, even in the highest class, the 4th of the 4 classes, you must also accept it because the Guhya Samaja root text, root Tantra said, has the words Sungdam Jimban Nam Bangpa. Eliminate the holder and the held. Okay? Give up the holder and the held. Then we went and looked at the root Tantra, and it really is there. And it was spoken by the Buddha emanating as Vairochana. Okay? And now we get some comments on it by Choni Lama. Okay, so please read Miss Upala.
Rimga Seldrin Lekyang De Tong Jorwat La Panang Nampar Rikpa Sam Ki Luki Sun Zin Zeta De Ki Don Beton Ni Sam Shikla Nek Ba Lepar Nek Goethe She Sun Bechiro.
Okay, so as support for his statement that, according to Tsongkhapa and his two principal disciples, you would have to accept the mind-only presentation on these matters of held and holder. Okay, holder and held. Yeah, he quotes Jet Tsongkhapa in the lamp which illuminates the 5 levels. Rimga is a huge subject. We did it in the Tantric course. It kind of starts with Nagarjuna, who wrote a book on the Rimga, and it's kind of cool. And it includes things like the clear light and the rainbow body and things like that. Okay. It's like a Tantric Lamrim abbreviated 5 paths, something like that. Okay, Lekyang. So he quotes it, I guess directly. Deton Jorwa La, as far as the
Bliss and emptiness.
Jorwa, as far as the union of bliss and emptiness, okay, to really appreciate the union of bliss and emptiness. But here's the word that I love, Tanang. Tana. At least. Now, to me, that means, minimum you should have some understanding of the mind-only school system of hold and helder. That doesn't mean he said you have to accept it. Okay, got it? I felt so happy when I hit the Tanang. Okay, ta is related to Mao ta, right? Like the edge, meaning at the very least, Pakraini Mira. Any Russians here? No. Oh, Pakraini Mira, right? So that's a lot different from saying you have to accept it. Snada saglasin. Saglasni? Nada saglasin. It's a different thing. It's a completely different thing. I mean, to me. So at least you should understand, if you're going to understand this concept of bliss and emptiness, how they interact, then at least you should understand lekpa nye ge. You have to find, you have to come to a strong perception, okay, understanding of the kind of emptiness where things are empty of sung zin zetade, which are separate substance, which is a mind-only code word for come from different seeds. Yeah, it's the tree thing. It's a tree branch thing. Okay, so at least you have to come to a good understanding of how the tree thing works in the mind-only school. Okay, got it? In the system of the Namrik Tsam, he mixed the two words for mind only. Yeah. Vijnana Matra. Yeah, he made a new word for mind only. Mentalist only. Something like that, okay? It's cute. It was cute. But this Tsam and this Tsam is a lot different. Okay? This Tsam means, at least. Okay, at least. So this Tsam with Tanang means at least just get that in your head. And that's a Mayingang, to me. Yeah, you could get more. You should get more, but at least you should understand that. Now, those of you who went through the Tantric classes, how would that relate to the 2 levels of Tantra? 2 levels of Tantra are meeting the deities and getting taught by them how to become them. Right? So how would that relate to the mind-only school's idea that people you meet and you come from the same seed.
If you clear, if you
Oh,
clear the mind.
Yeah, it is useful in Tantra, right? If you want to meet an angel, if you want to reach the first level of Tantra, then you're going to have to plant one seed which splits into you and the angel. Okay, so who's responsible for angels?
You are.
Yeah, I mean, okay, like it's nice to know the mind-only system, you know, because it says you're not going to meet an angel unless you plant the seed in you. And they don't come from some other world and come to you or something like that. There's no such thing. They split from a seed in your own mind. Okay?
Is he implying?
But if they do, can you still study with them?
Absolutely.
Can you learn something which you don't know from someone who came from you?
That's why we still study with them.
Yeah. Okay, got it? Okay, that's a cool point. All right. Do you have a question?
Is he implying that this position is, like, to reconcile the two, that this position is foundational, that you kind of have to, it's better if you get to the higher school, but that you have to build from here?
I think you can say that. I think that's a healthy thing to say, you know, that you should understand the lower school's presentations of emptiness. Because, you know, almost in a negative way, you won't make certain mistakes. You know, you won't have certain misconceptions. It's kind of a list of wrong ways of thinking about emptiness before you get to the right one.
Like
Okay.
anything, understand this?
Yeah, good. Yeah, so I don't know if I K-land the K-land.
Accept the accept.
Got it? Yeah, I don't know if I accept his word accept. You have to accept. Accept as a starting place, maybe. Okay. All right. So you're going to hit this in texts. You know, in debates, people are going to say, oh, Tsongkhapa said you got to be a mind-only person to practice Tantra. And you're going to say, Tana. Okay, Tana. Pull out, get ready to pull out your Tanang. Okay. I got a Tanang in here somewhere. As predicted by
Oh, wow.
Utpala, we are done with the mind-only. Now, just to clarify, what's happening is first he divided emptiness into the emptiness of the person and the emptiness of things. And he kind of shotgunned all these guys with Tak Chik Rangwan Chenki Dak. Tak Chik Rangwan Chenki Dak. Unchanging, unitary, and autonomous self. And he kind of knocked them all out at the same time. And then he said, but on this one, on the emptiness of things, they have differences. Mainly that was how it's going to go. You know, on the emptiness of things, they have differences. So he's going to say, now he got to the lower middle way school, right, after the mind only. And he's going to say, you know, as far as the emptiness of the person, it's what, or the no self nature you have to say, you know, it's what I said before. Now let's talk about the emptiness of things according to them. So he's going to jump to that. Here we go.
Shipalani. Uma Ram Yupadam Tam Tell your way Lukso.
Means?
Here's the second of the fourth.
Fourth of the two.
The fourth point has two parts.
Fourth point. Yeah.
Meaning the fourth school. Okay, the fourth school on the emptiness of things. Okay, right.
There's the
Independence. I like to call it, and I strongly suggest, the independent branch of the middle way school. I like the branch because it implies there's other branches. Okay, and the
right branch.
The consequence branch. Okay, all right. The right branch.
Got my joke except you. Tangpola.
Oh, who's got the plane? Phil, you got the plane? Yell in her ear.
Tangpola. Ndipe luki gang saki takmek jitar yimpani ngar she sina
Sinla, nice.
sina chuki takmek njok sula.
Translate it.
here's the first,
Yeah, which is
or as for
the,
the first. which
here's
is,
the first branch.
Um,
Deepa means this
This-
system,
this system.
the system of these guys,
the one down.
the system of these guys. So Deepa
Oh,
is kind of D,
okay.
Luk D. You can say Lung D, or you can say Ndipe Luk. It's the same thing.
System of these.
Okay, the system of
the emptiness of the person in
Yeah.
the system in these guys' system
yeah,
is just like what we've explained before.
yeah.
It's-
How it
it's just
is, we already explained.
How it is we've already explained before.
Yeah, and then soft disjunctive,
But
Whereas,
but yeah,
the way
The lack of
the way they joke,
this joke means how do they establish her?
the way they establish the emptiness of things.
Yeah, here we go.
Here you go.
Okay. Then I went and got you. I went to remind you guys. I went and got her translation of
It's
what they believe is the emptiness of the person. Okay, I just went back and cut it out and put it here. Okay,
From John 3:10.
because we're supposed to remember. Okay, and he kind of look at this. He threw the 3 lower schools in with the lower half of the middle way, and said what they think is the lack of self-nature to a person in its full and definitive form is substantial, a lack of being substantial. Dakchi Rawanchin. Say yes, sorry. Say yes, substantial. What's that mean? You have to have Chankya.
yeah.
Okay. He's the only person I know who went into it, all that substantials really well. Okay.
Tokmar kakja dang te zinpe denzin lu sunwar jate.
Good. Togmar?
Since beginning.
Since the beginning.
This Togmar means our first job.
Our first, oh,
Okay, the first thing we have to do, okay, the first thing we have to do is Ngunzin,
understand it directly.
identify.
Oh.
Okay, identify. Ngunzin means hold the face.
Right.
Okay.
Although it says
This is misspelled, by the way.
Zin
It's misspelled, interestingly. Yeah, it's Muslim. It means check it.
But this is in the song.
Oh, it's past tense of Zin. So you want to check NGOS apostrophe DZIN.
What am I checking out?
See if you hit it with a D in front of it. I don't think so. No, I think he's misspelled it. Ngun means the face, and that's how you spell Ngunzin, which means to identify. Okay?
Like identify the person.
Yeah, exactly. Or recognize.
Recognize, yes.
So our first job
NGOS.
is to identify what is the tendency to hold to things as being real, which holds to gakcha. Okay, what's the gakcha, and what is it that holds to it? Okay, which is a nice approach, right? If we're going to study someone's school about what do they think emptiness is, it's a nice approach to talk about, well, what's their version of the gakcha? That's what we did at China Soft Power. We had fun with it for a couple days.
Das gives it a D.
Say again?
Das gives it a D.
It's wrong.
I'm inclined to believe you.
See if there's anybody that spelled it. Do space NGOS and look it up in Sungbum. You see what I mean?
Yeah, it's many times.
Yeah, it's more correct. They're just used to saying no with a D in front of it. It's wrong, if I do say so. Okay.
But maybe it's a dumb cop.
Maybe it became a dumb cop by corruption, but anyway, my school says wrong. All right. Okay, go.
Taeyong telling your way.
Wait, who's got the plane? Phil. I didn't hear you complain about anything.
Taeyong telling your way. So kie gyuki sutra so zinpe me ki lo den tenam lang. Yul sutra so ran seneki trupar nan yang dang watarma trupe. Denam lang yula truwar nula.
Okay, so I'm gonna divide and conquer. Okay. So first he's gonna say what the Prasangika would say about our normal perceptions, our normal everyday perceptions. Are they correct or not? And then he's going to say what the Svatantrika would say about our normal everyday perceptions. And the last line, the fourth line says, here, maybe I'll use my cursor. The fourth line says, your normal everyday perceptions, in the opinion of the Prasangika, true.
Magic, bro.
No, not PH, KH.
Oh, right.
True means mistaken.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Okay? They are true. They are mistaken towards the you.
The object.
Now, but they split yuls into many kinds. And nung yu means the one that makes its appearance to you, okay, as it appears. So you have to be sensitive when they talk about yuls and they're talking about pramanas. Is it shen yul? Is it zintangi yul? Is it ngu yul? Is it nung yul? There's many yuls, okay? Objects, desha, right? So you have to pay attention to what comes before you, okay? It's mistaken towards what's appearing to it, okay? Got it?
Yeah.
And now here's a description of what that feels like. First of all, we're talking about sokes.
So it's okay was?
Yeah, people who have not seen emptiness directly. So they're going to describe normal perceptions. They're going to, first they say, I'm not talking about Aryas. Forget Aryas, normal people, okay? Which is sometimes a good way to translate, average people is a good way to translate Sosukewa maybe. Yeah, because that's exactly what it means. Yeah, your average Joe, Sosukeki Gyuki. In their, you can say mind stream, but here it just means in them. Okay, sometimes it just means in their body and mind. You see, it doesn't mean, you don't have to say mind stream. Or you can say in their mind, when they hear something, Drasok Zin, and he adds a second qualifier, Nume.
That's not harm?
The perception is Nume.
Oh, not
Not,
mistaken.
yeah.
No, it's not messed up. Nu means to hurt, right? And this is a Pramanavartika way of saying you're not drunk, you're not extremely jealous. Okay, you don't have reasons to misperceive things. So nume, you're gonna have to find a nice translation. It means like unaffected. Sometimes I use unaffected, AFF, meaning unaffected by drugs, alcohol, strong emotions. Meaning there's no obvious cause for you to be mistaken. Okay. Maybe.
Doesn't capture.
But I kind of like the negative feeling, you see? Unaffected. Okay, all right. Numikilo and Duntun is getting even trickier because Duntun means, it means accurate.
Yeah.
It's what's there and what it sees are the same. Duntun almost means that. Okay, Duntun. So, but what he wants to say is a normal, unmessed up perception, which is seeing things pretty reasonably. Okay, it means that. I would add the pretty myself because it's not exactly. Okay, okay, got it. Or you can say this, and it's my famous question to Ken Rinpoche after he taught this. And I told you guys before, but we were sitting in the room, and I was thinking about getting out of the room and having tea, because he used to take a tea break. And I was looking at the door, and I got kind of upset, and I said, well, if my normal perceptions are mistaken according to Prasangika, is that not a door? And he said, it is a door. You're duntun about the door. You are duntun about the door.
Correct.
It is a door, and you're seeing it as a door. That part of your perception is correct. And your perception is nume. You're not drunk, you're not angry, maybe you just really want to go to the bathroom. Okay? But as you see door, you have assumptions about door. Gut, in Princeton they called it visceral presuppositions in religion class. You have gut feelings, you have strong born feelings about the door that it's coming this way, okay? And that's the part you're mistaken about. But it's duntun about door. Got it? And it's nume about door, okay? I'm not seeing it as as an orange thing flowing as if I were on LSD or something. Okay, got it?
Visceral presuppositions. What class was that? That's cool.
Christianity class.
That's neat.
Okay, anyway. It stuck with me, as you can see. Okay, here we go. So assuming the state of mind is that, okay, it's seeing a door normal, it's normal. And it's not, and it's unaffected. Maybe normal, I don't know. Play with it. That's your job. That's what we pay you for. Yul suk da so rangi teniki dupa nang yang. And the things that soso kewa, that average person, the things that they are looking at or listening to, right? The objects of that perception, whether they be visual form, okay, for suk here, or sounds, etc., they appear to Rangiteniki Drupa. They seem to exist in and of themselves. Okay? They seem to exist in and of themselves. But Nawata Madrup. But they don't exist the way they seem. They don't really exist the way they seem. Drup means here, exist. Tarnam, Nawatar means as they seem to. Madrupe. Therefore, according to us, who's us?
Now it's Svatangika?
No, Prasangika. Prasangika.
Oh.
Right here, right? We're still in Prasangika.
Oh yeah.
Okay? According to us, true. Nang yula, true.
Mistaken.
You are mistaken towards what's appearing to you. Okay? Your normal, everyday perceptions are mistaken according to the Prasangika. Okay? And that's why. Now, he just is setting up the Rangyupas because that's the difference. Okay, so please read. Now, by the way, you can do this, as you guys probably know. You can push it down and get the whole thing up there.
Rangyupeni lote namlate tarnang shinangwa tarduparndupe nang yulang truwar shepe.
Oh, wow, big mistake. Here, what am I gonna... Yeah, lama. I'm sorry. That was an interesting mistake. Okay. Yeah. Nang yu la matrua. Shit, eh?
Tel rangi ki gachala charaki ke parchel.
Yeah, good. Now we're in familiar territory, and it almost feels like going home to see your mom or something. Like, she hugs you, and you're like, oh, yeah, that feels good. Yeah, that feels much better. Rangyupeni,
As for
the independent branch, okay, what do they say? Le lo denam la deta nang, things do appear to those states of mind in a certain way, and nawatar tup.
And they are that way.
And they really are the way they seem. Okay, big difference, right? They do appear datar. Rankitseni Kudupa. Well, Rankitseni Kudupa, in and of themselves.
Oh.
If they had said lo numela no wangi shaksa member you rangi tumo member dudusu dupa noa, that would have been wrong. Okay, that's the Gakja according to the Rangyupas. But Rankitseni Kudupa, I believe they would accept.
You're saying independent.
They do exist in and of themselves, by definition. They exist by definition. They appear to exist by definition, and they do exist by definition. I believe they would say that. Okay.
So would you translate it here as in and of themselves, or would you stick to something?
No, he just said that way, in that way. So to cover my rear end, I change around on Rankitseni Kudupa. By definition is the obvious one.
Yeah.
But when I really think about what it is, I feel sometimes that we should say in and of itself. You can say by definition, but when you see the description of Rankitseni Kudupa, it's more in and of itself. Okay, but it's the same thing. It's the same thing. Okay, Deta Nangshi. I think in that case you might want to think beyond the words, but don't go as far as another word for emptiness. You see what I mean? For self-existence, like coming from its own side, because that would be rangunne. There's already another phrase for that. Okay. All right. Detar nangshin nomatar tupa dumpe, because they agree that the way it seems and the way it is are the same, meaning in this case existing by definition, in and of itself. Okay. By the way, nowadays I'm flirting with denmei as not itself.
Like
Dogme. Sorry, dogme. Yeah.
Oh, dogme.
Okay, I'm flirting with Bumpe dogme as the vase is not the vase. And I kind of think it works sometimes. Maybe not all the time. Because I think that's what it means. Anyway, tar jupe. And I'm very excited about the possibilities of the word in.
Oh, right.
But we'll talk about it later. Jepe, nang yu la matua shete. What's the she mean?
Except?
Yeah, nice. They take that position. Now, for $100, what if it had been A, B-Z-H-A-B?
Like jump,
Yeah, exactly like Jamyo Shepa.
Jamyo Shepa? Like glorious?
You make me nervous every time you open your mouth.
I was just thinking about
That she means for a flower to open.
Oh, right.
Okay, Pema Shepa. Okay, and it's only in his name. So don't confuse AD with ED. ED is to take a position. AD is for the opening of a flower. Okay, completely different. And definitely don't confuse them with BSHAD,
To explain.
which means to explain. So the most common mistake a new translator makes is to see it as BSHAD. Pao Shadashe, which means to explain. Okay, yeah, they take the position that matro.
It's not.
Not correct.
Yeah, that the mind is not mistaken towards its nangyo.
The appearing object.
Yeah, the object that appears to them. Okay, and therefore, tel rang niki gakcha la. Let's keep the charat. Let's just go to kepar che. Kepar. What's this kepar?
Big distinction.
Yeah, big difference. Huge difference. Okay, so kepar can mean difference, or it can mean distinction, or it can mean feature. So be careful. Here it means huge difference between the two. Yeah, in terms of how subtle do they go. Okay, what's qiyang? What's ringtung?
Oh, right. The counterposing ringtone is length.
Long short means length. Then what was the first one I said? Qiyang is the weight of something,
Right.
because it's made.
Light,
They say heavy light means weight, and ringtung means long short means distance, and charak means relative subtlety. Relative subtlety. Okay, got it?
Tamoda.
Yeah, tawa and rakpa. Okay. Yeah, tama is the device of speech. Be careful. Huh?
Which is try, which is wrong.
Chawa means subtle, and rakpa means obvious. Okay,
Oh, yeah,
gross.
okay.
I haven't found a good English word which is the opposite of chawa,
Yeah, right.
because gross has too many connotations in my day of disgusting. Obvious is not bad. Yeah, that's not bad. How do you say not subtle?
Obvious.
What's the opposite of subtle?
Raw.
Obvious.
Rough is pretty good. Rough is pretty good.
For substance.
Anyway, it's a challenge for a translator.
Depends
Indelicate.
on the context, doesn't it?
Keep going.
Denandi e lukla chut tamchelo dun tunam nu me lan lang huang yu shapat sam to
Stop there and let's do this piece. Dipe Luke. Lungdi.
So the
Yeah.
system of this
Yeah, Lungdi means this system. Dipe Luke means these guys' system. Okay, Dipe Lukla. In this guys' system, Chitamche, all existing things, are Shakpa, are established. Meaning when you're trying to make the decision of whether it exists or not, that's called Shakpa. Okay? When you're deciding whether something exists or not, Shakpa. You can say established and that's okay, I'll buy it. But don't forget what it means. when you're answering the question, does it exist or not, Shakpa, they are Shakpa, they are established as existing by virtue of Wangki, by virtue of Nawa,
The appearance
to a Lo,
to a mind,
which is Nume.
which is not on drugs. or-
Yeah. Or we can say Duntun. Reasonable, or, it kind of fits what's going on. Consistent with reality or something, okay? And that's how you define things. Now, don't forget, which is probably going to come here, in the Svatantrika presentation of the Gakcha, they would, to this thing, they would add Tumo Mayembe Duluksu. Say Tumo Mayembe Duluksu. Tumo Mayembe Duluksu. Okay?
That which is not
Do-
shared by the systems?
No, it means through some unique way of their own. That's Gakcha. Okay? So
I see.
things that appear to you are real until you get to saying Tumo Mayembe Duluksu. From their own side, some unique way of being that my perceptions are in no way contributing to.
Its own unique.
It's not 50-50. You see, they say 50-50. Half coming from the object, half coming from me. That's the lower middle way.
Yeah.
Mind only,
100%.
coming from me, but in a different way.
Correct.
According to the Prasangika, the mind only still think everything's coming this way. Okay, so they do believe things have a unique way of being of their own. Below the Svatantrika. The Svatantrika achievement was to say 50-50.
Right.
And then they got overthrown by the Prasangikas who said
100.
0-100.
Yeah.
Okay, got it? Okay, Shaktsam Dushimpe. So they do believe that things depend on the mind, but only 50%. Okay? All right. Here it is. So what's their gakcha? Lo Nimela Nawe Wangi Shakpatsam Minba. Their gakcha is, it's not just established by appearing to a reasonable state of mind. Rather, it has its own way of being. Rangi Duluk. Here's Duluk, okay? Its own way of staying. Its own way of sitting there. Rangi Duluk, okay? Got it? Mune, Drupa, if it were to exist in that way, from the side of its own unique way of being, meaning my perceptions don't contribute to its reality at all, well, that's a gakcha. Got it? Rangi. And they should have added Tumo Mayimbe Dulux. Okay. He just said Rangi Dulux. Okay. So if it has its own way of being, which I am not contributing to in any way, that's the gakcha. Okay. That's their gakcha.
Is
Cool.
Duluk spelled with a pao sometimes?
It can be spelled with a B. Yeah.
Which one?
Yeah. Pao sa da da da. But it's definitely not an owl. It can never be an owl because that would change it to
Demon? No.
to desire.
Oh,
To
desire,
want.
yeah.
Okay? So don't confuse those two. There's no prenasal on staying. There is a prenasal on desire,
Yes.
which is why we're losing, which is why I'm beating you up on prenasals.
Right.
Because you're going to say stay when you say I want. I want you to leave, but you'll be saying I want you to stay. Okay? Okay. Yeah, okay. By the way, he said Taki Gakcha. Somebody help me out. He didn't say Gakcha, he said Taki Gakcha.
Which is label. The label?
That's a different spelling of thought. Somebody had it.
We had a talk earlier.
That same in of the smell of a croissant. Maybe it's Mexican
I
food.
knew me.
Would exist, the thing that we denied that would exist. Like,
You want me to give it to you? I mean, you don't want me to give it to you.
Oh, I was gonna
The opposite is Lamki Gakcha.
so this is Rikpe Gakcha?
Yeah. It's just another way to say Rikpe Gakcha.
That makes sense.
Okay? All Gakchas are divided into two types. things you eliminate by practicing the path, which do exist, like anger. And then things you eliminate by emptiness reasoning, like self-existent people who get you angry. Second husband. Okay.
Then
4
use
minutes.
what in this case?
I'm interested to see how things go. If you're a young person and you grew up with the two husband theory, would your relationships be perfect? We're gonna see. Okay. Here we go.
Tetar dupa ship jumna, dempar dupa dindam dupa sok sundirwa yinpe, tetar dupar zimpar nu, denzin henke sindichin, denzin like hey, japar ship.
Yeah, this is heavy stuff. It's beautiful, but it's heavy. Okay, so Detar Drupashik Chungna. If something were to exist that way, okay, if something were to exist that way, in what way? We're talking about Gakcha.
The way that this Svatantrika school.
Yeah, Rangi Duluksu. If you want to be more correct, Rangi Tumo Mayembe Duluksu. Okay, if it were to exist from some way of being of its own. Okay, now they're going further. We said what's the Gakcha, but what does it mean to hold to the Gakcha? Okay, so now he's going to define that according to the Svatantrika. Yeah, okay, that's Gakcha, but what does it mean to hold to it? Okay, because that's the first thing. If it's me or mine. Okay, good. You guys are getting good. You already know more than most monks. We're shooting for the geshes. Okay, more than most geshes. Okay, Deda Drupa Shikchuna. If such a thing were to exist, meaning it can't, Dembar Drupa, that would be Dembar Drupa. That would be truly existing. That would exist really, in reality. Okay? And you could say that would exist ultimately. Okay? Meaning those must be two words in their school for self-existent. Okay? We're not sure about Ranki Seniki Drupa yet. I believe they say that's okay. Okay. Soksu Gyowa Yimbe. So they would then exist in reality, and they would exist ultimately if they existed through some way of being of their own. Okay? From their side, without my participation. Detar Drupa Zimbani. And to believe in such a thing, to hold such a thing to be this way, is what we call
The inborn
denzin. Holding to things that's real. Denzin, holding to things that's real. I like to call it the tendency, because holding is kind of weird, you know, like a holding. So I like to call it the tendency to hold things as real, or to believe. Zen is probably more comfortable. Zen is probably more acceptable English. The tendency to believe in things as real holds to things as being that way. Okay? And moreover, that's the Henke version.
Inborn.
Yeah, inborn. You were born with it. Ants have it, bugs have it, fish have it, birds have it, Gracie may have it. We're still not sure if she's a Buddha or not. Okay. If she were a normal dog. Okay. Tapatasungi. In the remote chance that she's a normal dog. They believe. That's what they believe. The de is sort of a put down here. I know. They say. That's what they say. De. Okay, that's what they believe. And they also say one further thing and we'll stop. They say that Denzin must be Shiddup.
It blocks the omniscience.
An obstacle to Buddhahood as opposed to an obstacle to Nirvana. Now that's a huge subject. Okay, we'll get into it some other time. It'll come. And it's confusing and it's hard to work with. Okay. Are we out of time? Or
We are out of time.
All right, that's a good place to stop. And it feels like we're back in the comfort of home, right? We're still got to get there with Ben's text. I think we have a few more weird stories to dig through. I'm not looking forward to trying to find this Shapagni.
Oh, it hasn't gone.
Did you find
No,
him?
it's going terribly. I found it in Hindi in a few places.
Thank you,
In Hindi.
Genshin.
It's
You're
not-
welcome. We made it to the.
That whole
Well, at least we made it to Madhyamika.
translate because the word it doesn't translate.
Puki Joshi Metotam Riramin Shinde Gembadi Sangye Shindu Mikte Uargi Jokunamda Shingha Chupasho Idam Guru Radha Mandala Kamniyatayami Di Dewo Kun Sanam Yeshe Tsotsok Shin Sanam Yeshe Lechungwe Tamba Kuni Topasho